Hello, I am Professor Adrian Rhines of IMD, the leading international business school based in Switzerland. Welcome to this short presentation based on my research on low-cost competition, some of which is discussed in my recent book called Beating Low-Cost Competition. In this short video, I will give you some insight into my book's content and explain why low-cost competition has become one of the defining features of our corporate landscape.
Although low cost is not a recent trend, just think back to how steelmaking moved from the United States and Europe when cheaper producers sprung up in Brazil or China. The recent hype has certainly made it one of the flavors du jour. Low-cost airlines, deep discount retailers, and inexpensive direct banking have been at the forefront of the movement.
And believe me, the movement is not about to disappear. After all, low cost has meant a bounty for the general consumer. Cheaper television sets and computers, cheaper flights to faraway destinations, cheaper clothes that your wardrobe can change with each season. Since low cost is with us for the long term, it is important for you and your company to start preparing.
Just how bad is the pressure from low-cost competitors? How much sleep is lost in the wee hours by executives tossing and turning and trying to figure out the appropriate response? Well, according to a 2006 global survey of business executives carried out by consulting firm McKinsey, more low-cost competitors is systematically either the most important or the second most important factor contributing to increasing competitive pressure. McKinsey points out that among the sectors under strong pressure are consumer goods, heavy industry, telecoms, and healthcare.
If I say low cost, what comes to your mind first? The chances are it might be airlines. After all, Southwest Airlines and Ryanair helped create the low-cost brand, or at least made it a household term.
How important has low cost become? Let's take a closer look at Ryanair, the Irish wonder story. Its tender beginnings in 1985 featured one aircraft travelling between Waterford, Ireland, and London Gatwick Airport. The first few years were so bad that it accumulated losses of £20 million. It was in 1994 that it adopted a true low-cost formula, after then CFO Michael O'Leary visited Southwest Airlines in the US and began to implement changes based on the Southwest model. All of a sudden, Ryanair was off and running. By 2000, 34 aircraft covered 43 cities and revenues reached €370 million. By 2009, Ryanair was operating 196 aircraft to 145 cities and revenues topped €2.9 billion. Now take a look at one interesting angle of the Ryanair story: market elasticity. In the first semester of 2009, Ryanair and EasyJet carried almost as many passengers as Lufthansa, Air France, KLM, and British Airways combined. The message? Low cost or good enough services help to drastically increase the size of the market. Proof that your company, if it is in a B2C business, should seriously consider the creation of a low-cost business so as to take advantage of a potentially vast market.
Low cost might also make you think of food retailing, Walmart perhaps, or for those of us in Europe, perhaps Aldi in Germany or Leclerc in France. All of these food retailers thrive on low-cost models that use a variety of success factors. For Walmart, it is the tight supply chain and the extreme cost control culture. Aldi's success, on the other hand, relies on an extremely low-cost business model, very high-quality private label products, and a low number of stock-keeping units.
Low cost does not threaten B2C business alone. B2B industries are not immune. Let us look at the example of Saurer, now Oerlikon Textiles, a Swiss company that produces sophisticated machines for the textile industry. Although Saurer's machines were sold predominantly to sophisticated manufacturers in the developed world, in the 1990s the Saurer management started worrying more and more about competition from Chinese textile machinery manufacturers. After some visits to China and some in-depth market analysis, Saurer decided to develop its own simpler mid-performance textile machines. Why this decision? Basically for three reasons. First, Saurer realized that the good enough market for somewhat simpler, more rugged textile machines represented a potential market that was at least twice as large in unit terms as its existing core market. Second, The company also realized that by competing aggressively with low-cost Chinese competitors in the good enough segment of the market, it would make it more difficult for them to move up into the premium segments. Third, and finally, Zauer reckoned that its growing China operation could eventually lower R&D and other costs that would benefit its global business.
In this video, we have tried to give you a better feeling for the impact of low-cost competition. How will your company respond? Will you be like the traditional airlines and lose market share? Or will you be like Sauer, who has managed to compete in both the premium and good enough segments of the market?
In the series of 6 videocasts that you can download, specific topics that will be explored in further depth are: what value propositions can companies offer aside from price value? How big is a threat for you? Should you enter the low-cost segment? How low-cost companies excel at what they do and what you can learn from them. How to adapt your strategy in order to avoid low-cost competitors. How to structure your company to get low cost right. And how to lead your team or your company through the switch to compete with low-cost operations.
Regardless of your selections, I can guarantee that you will find this series information-rich and practical. It will prepare you to confront your low-cost competitors.
What should you do now? Go to our website and download the first videocast. Use this promotion code and you can download the first videocast for only 99 cents. Thank you for your time.